Surf's up, dudes! I'm your host Youssef, and these are 10 scary surfing stories that will make you forget how to swim. Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Anyways, let's catch a wave! Number 10, Balaram Stack, Long Beach, New York. We went over to Desert Point on Lombok and we're sitting there getting lunch. There's a commotion out on the water and I saw them put somebody on a board and I immediately got up and swam out to them. This dude had smashed his face into the reef. From the side of his nose all the way down to his lip was in half, and there was a golf ball sized indent above his eyebrow. He was unconscious and blue at the time. We got up to the beach and we were doing CPR on him and he started convulsing. I was like, okay, get him on his side. And he started puking up all the water and foam. There was just so much blood coming out. Slowly he started getting little breaths and almost came back. His two buddies took him to the hospital and I heard yesterday they've started some surgery. They're trying to get him to Jakarta, but he's in a stable state now. It's hard to get that out of your mind, but at the same time you really can't be thinking about it while you're surfing and while you're living. Number 9, Leon Glatzer, Pavones, Costa Rica. The scariest and the best moments of my life were both at Pipeline in Hawaii. It's kind of like a wolf pack. You have your position, right? At the top are the locals and the guys from the World Championship Tour, and then come us professionals and semis. And you can wait there 5 hours and not catch a single wave because there are so many people. I was there waiting one time and I was so over it. But then this wave came that nobody went for and I was like, this is my turn. I was going down the wave and I suddenly realized why nobody went. Because it was a closeout. The whole thing just dumped. The wave just ate me. I flipped over and it boom, hit the reef. My body felt like butterflies and everything was slowly going dark. I blacked out and when I woke up I was holding my board. I got to the beach, touched the back of my head and it was all full of blood. My whole hand was covered in it and I was scared and I fainted again. It was a close call. Number 8, William Aloidi, St. Martin. I was in Arica, Chile, a contest spot where they used to do the championships. I went for a surf trip with a photographer and we got there a day before the comp and we started surfing it. It was one of the best waves in the world. It was so good. Every day I was catching a good wave. Every day when I was walking from the hotel to the spot, I was like, let's go, give me more, give me more. But it was always in free surfing, not in the competition heats, that I was getting the bomb. I wanted to get it in the contest, so when that came around, the judges started to talk to all the contest boys and they say, you want to go for your heat? There's no jet ski for security and the waves here are getting bigger and bigger. And the other boys say no, but I went and I caught one. It was the best wave of my life. It was super deep and I did 5 pumps inside the barrel. I came out and the whole contest area was clapping and whistling and I couldn't believe I'd made the barrel. I asked them, did you get it on video? And they were like, no bro, we didn't. But I've got the memory and I was so happy about it. And the scary part of that is, nothing went wrong. Keeping you on your toes. Who knows? Number 7, Morro Diaz, Puerto Rico. I was like 13 years old surfing in Puerto Rico. You know how when you're in a barrel, it kind of swirls? I was in there and I guess this big round buoy got sucked over and hit me in the forehead and knocked me off my board. It was the craziest feeling ever because I started tingling like in the cartoons, like boing. It was super weird. I tried to move and right then it stopped. I popped up and went to touch my head and felt a huge hole. It was a huge gash with blood coming down. I started screaming for help and my brother pulled me out of the water. An ambulance came and took me to the hospital and I had to get like 6 stitches on the outside and 6 on the inside. At the time I was like, that was hardcore and I'm never going surfing again. It was definitely scary. Number 6, Luke Forgay, Newport Beach, California. One of my scariest moments shooting surfers was in Mexico last year. It was the first day and the water was pretty big and stormy. When I got in the water, it was so strong that it kept sucking me under. I got sucked all the way out to the beach and dragged 3 miles down the beach. I was just taking 10-foot waves on the head. I was underneath just getting rolled basically. And then I was like, I need to body surf and let it take me in, and luckily one really big one came and just pushed me all the way to the shore. It was scary. I was seeing stars and totally out of breath. I was in the ocean for maybe an hour, but it took me another hour to get back. There was nobody around because it was so early, but eventually I managed to hitchhike back. Everybody thought I had drowned. Number 5, look it in the eyes. From Plumbobber on Reddit, today I was battling in the heavy surf in SoCal. It was a big day, surf advisory. Took the first wave on what proved to be a huge set. Guy dropped in, so I bailed off the shelf and my leash snapped. Watched my board sail about 100 meters to the wall of rocks and started taking 6 to 10 footers on the head. Couldn't get to the board, was stupid to try. Was super winded with no real outs in sight. The rip had pulled me to the rocks and took a large one on the head and smashed my leg and and back into the wall. Got up and found a rock was able to bring enough adrenaline to scale the slippery slope as the next one crashed in. Rock wall is about 6 meters tall and I was lucky to get up it. Board was totaled, got back to the launch and my flip-flops had been stolen. Bad day, fresh scars. Number 4, fight or flight. From ripples on Reddit, I was out by myself on a big, stormy, filthy B-word of a day. I was having a ball but not really understanding why nobody else was out with me. It was a bad, rainy weekend, but still, there was swell about. Didn't really make sense for me to have the entire spot to myself. I'd been happily surfing away, then all of a sudden I got this feeling like something was looking at me and whatever it was wanted to end me. All my senses just pricked up and went into overdrive for seemingly no reason. I started looking around and straight away spotted the biggest shark fin I've ever seen. I was a long way from the beach, probably about 200 meters, and the shark was about 30 meters away from me. Between me and the beach and swimming in a slight arc towards me, massive fear kicked in. If the shark wanted me, there was no way I could paddle the distance to the beach fast enough to escape. It had a 30-meter head start. So there was a problem with the flight scenario. This forced me to contemplate fighting the thing. Number 3, inexperience. I am a complete noob to surfing. I do not know how to stand up, but have been going to the beach every day and trying. I went to a pretty deserted beach by myself so I wouldn't get in anyone's way, and when I got there, the waves were in this 4 to 6 foot range. Never have I dealt with something like this. I thought, well, I'm here, so I might as well try. Let's see what happens. Wrong choice, and a choice I will never make again. It took me at least 10 minutes to paddle out beyond the white waves, and once I was out there, it was madness. I have little experience with ducking waves, so every wave that approached me would basically take me under. There was one set of waves that was easily 5 feet. The first one took me under, and when I surfaced, the second one took me under, and then the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. I finally got to shore and literally started throwing up. I had swallowed so much water I could barely breathe. Nobody was around, so I stripped off my wetsuit, shoved my finger down my throat, and threw up an insane amount of water. I learned that day that the ocean is not just water. It is a force of nature that you have to respect, and if you can't handle it, do not go out. Number 2, separated. From Steam Donkey on Reddit, biggest day I've ever gone out in my life. Triple overhead. Secret North California spot that can hold any size of swell, 50-foot water. It was so big and perfect, sunny, no wind, weekday, only a few willing to paddle out. I finally made it outside, there's a channel to the south, when the most massive cleanup set I've ever witnessed rolled up on us. I was the furthest one inside. I ditched, came up on the other side of the first wave, the second wave was bigger. Ditched and dove down deep, came up, then snap, my leash broke. I was hundreds of yards outside. It was a gnarly solid leash and only a couple months old, if that. No one saw it happen and I proceeded to take about 25 waves on the head trying to get in. I thought I was going to pass away. I was out of breath, taking in salt water. Finally got into a hole or channel and just laid on my back and floated to catch my breath. After another hour or so of swimming and resting, I crawled up onto the beach. These dudes were driving up and down the beach in a Jeep with my board sticking out of the back. They had found it with no one attached, so they were looking for whoever was attached to it. It had been well over an hour since it happened. Number 1, Wipeout. Had a heavy wipeout the other day, solid 6 to 7 footer and thick as heck at the local reef. Wave was a double up, starts looming up. 2 other guys were going for it, but they didn't really want it. I'm on a 5'10" stick, scratching into it, scratching. I finally get to that point where I'm ready to get to my feet, but I'm chasing it down, I'm not with it. Look down and it's a total vertical drop. Immediately thought no way that's happening, jumped from top to bottom, sucked up and over. I'm paddling back out into the lineup and I hear this guy go, "See that guy?" Then his mate says, "We all enjoyed that. How is it for you?" Thanks for watching. Those were 10 scary surfing stories that will make you forget how to swim. Leave a like and comment if we missed anything, and we hope you have a scary day.